So in this guided meditation, you will be taken on a journey to develop self-knowing, how your mind works at the deeper level of the mind, who you are. Now in this meditation, you will hear my voice to guide you, but do not anticipate when my voice will come. Just let it happen. Remember, the importance of the practice is to simply observe the breath. So if there's anything I say that you may not understand, just let it go and simply pull yourself back to observe the breath. May you develop wisdom and self-transformation in the guided meditation. Now please find a comfortable place to sit, and when you are ready, close your eyes. This will be a guided meditation for 30 minutes. Keep your eyes closed throughout the guided meditation. Relax the shoulders and breathe through the nose. And if you cannot, breathe through the mouth. Let us just be aware of the breath for the next minute. Be aware of the breath as it is, letting the breath happen naturally. If the breath wishes to be fast, let it be fast. If the breath wants to be slow, let it be slow. No matter what happens, do not try to control the breath. Do not try to control the truth of what the breath wishes to be. Remember, to be aware of the breath means to simply be aware of any physical sensations happening inside and around the nose. Just being aware of the breath allows us to get into the state of meditation, of simple observation of the truth of the present moment. So just observe the breath for the next minute. Keep your awareness on the breath. From time to time, you may experience wandering thoughts. Keep pulling yourself back to the breath. Keep on being aware of the breath. Simply observe the breath. This is meditation. Every moment, when you are simply being aware of the breath, you are developing self-knowing. Keep on being alert and aware of the breath coming in and out. Be aware, even the moments in between the breaths. Be aware of every moment. Wandering thoughts will come from time to time. Keep on pulling yourself back to the breath, letting the thoughts come and go. That is how we develop self-knowing. Keep on observing the breath. There is no need to think about what's going on in the practice. Thinking is not how we develop self-knowing. The only thing we need to do is to just be aware of the breath. Just observe the breath. That is how we develop self-knowing. Be aware of the breath. That is how we develop self-knowing in a natural and truthful way. Through observing the breath, are you not experiencing various wandering thoughts coming in and out? Are you not experiencing different emotions coming up and down? Through observing the breath, are you not developing self-knowing of the nature of your mind? Keep on observing the breath. That is how we develop self-knowing. Let the self-knowing happen naturally, by not trying to look for wandering thoughts. Simply observe the breath, and let all things come naturally. With every breath, absorb the following wisdom. Realize that every time you let the breath flow naturally, you are observing the truth, the reality of the present moment. You are allowing the nature of your mind to naturally manifest, to show you who you are. Thoughts about your desires, your fears, your worries, your habit patterns will all show up through observing the breath. We are observing ourselves truthfully. So don't try to control the breath. If it wishes to be fast, let it be. If it wishes to be slow, let it be. That is how we develop the state of simple observation. That is how we develop self-knowing truthfully. So don't try to control the breath. Just let it be whatever it wishes to be. Keep on being aware of the breath. When wandering thoughts come, just let it go. That is how we go deeper into the mind. Keep on being aware of the breath when you encounter wandering thoughts or pain on the body. Instead of reacting to it, pull yourself back to the awareness of the breath. That is how we develop deeper stillness. That is how we go deeper into the mind. Keep on being aware of the breath by observing for any physical sensations that is happening in the nose or outside the nose. Remember, we are simply trying to observe the reality of the present moment as it is. So don't try to analyze or judge the experience. Don't try looking for sensations that are not there. Simply observe the reality as it is. Simply let everything be. That is how we develop the state of observation. This is how we can penetrate the imagination to see through it, to see the truth of reality. This is the practice of self-knowing. With every breath, absorb the following wisdom. Like trying to know a person, there's no need to think about who that person is. That is the act of guessing. To know that person, we simply observe them. Observe them. Spend time with them, observing, for weeks, months, years. This is how we develop the knowing of that person. In this very moment, the person that we are trying to know is ourselves. So simply observe. There's no need to think. Simply observe. This is how we develop self-knowing. Let the self-knowing naturally manifest. Keep on focusing your awareness on the breath. Every time you are one with the breath, you are discovering yourself. You are discovering who you are. Continue to be aware of the breath. With every breath, absorb the following wisdom. Wandering thoughts are created by our fears, desires, and habits. So when you encounter a wandering thought that is difficult to let go, realize that you are developing self-knowing of your deep-rooted fears, desires, and habit patterns. In the practice, there's no need to analyze. Just let the self-knowing happen naturally. So just observe the breath. With every breath, absorb the following wisdom. Through wandering thoughts, we can discover ourselves, to know our habit patterns, our fears, our worries. But in meditation, we're not trying to create wandering thoughts. We just let it happen naturally, spontaneously. And when they do happen, we simply observe and let them go. Like this, deeper wandering thoughts will naturally manifest. Then we let them go again. This is how we develop deeper stillness, deeper knowing. This is how we develop self-knowing in a truthful way. This is how we uncover the person behind the personality. Every time you experience wandering thoughts, pull yourself back to the breath, and within time, you will realize the theme of your wandering thoughts. Is it about relationships, jobs, fears, desires? There's no need to think about it. The truth will be known through just observing the thoughts. But we don't observe the thoughts. The observation of the thoughts will happen naturally as we observe the breath. So keep on observing the breath to develop self-knowing. Every time you experience wandering thoughts, it may be accompanied by an emotion or reaction. Simply observe Let the thoughts and reactions go and see how difficult it is to do so. Observe this. Through the act of observing, we are developing the knowing of the nature of our mind. Realize that when we close our eyes in meditation, we are uncovering the will that is happening inside. Thoughts about people, thoughts about life. Realize that through observing how we react to these thoughts, we are observing how we usually react to these situations in life. Over time, you will realize that the experience of the world inside is no different than the world outside. Keep on observing the breath. With every breath, absorb the following wisdom. Each time you let go of wandering thoughts, you are releasing the layers of wandering thoughts in your mind. You are going deeper into the mind. And on that journey, you will uncover deeper wandering thoughts. A cycle of calm and chaos. This is natural. This is how we develop deeper self-knowing. It's time to go deeper into self-knowing by letting go of the wandering thoughts inside. We let go by simply being aware of the breath. Thoughts about people, let it go. Thoughts about work, let it go. Thoughts about problems, let it go by coming back to the breath. Thoughts about the past, let it go. Thoughts about the future, let it go. Thoughts about music or games, let it go by coming back to the breath. Just be present. Just be aware of the breath. This is how you develop self-knowing. With every breath, absorb the following wisdom. In life, we can generate many ideas of who we are, but it is only when we look within that we can know the truth. Experience the truth of whether or not we are happy. In meditation, we are simply experiencing the truth of ourselves, without pretense, just truth. For instance, in life we can lie to ourselves or people that we are not angry, but in meditation we cannot lie, but to experience the truth. Simply observe the breath. That is how we develop self-knowing. Well done. The guided meditation now is over. You may open your eyes or just keep on meditating. But the guided meditation from me is over. Well done.